Hi, happy Sunday. I hope you all are having an amazing day. I just finished helping some people move this afternoon, and I want to share this story with you. A couple of days ago, they posted on this family, husband and wife, and they have a teenage daughter. They have an older daughter too, but she moved out. Anyway, they were moving today, this afternoon, and they asked for some people to help them. And they just made a post on the community Facebook page for the church. And I responded, hi. And I responded and I said, hey, I would love to be able to help you guys out, but I already have another commitment. But if that changes, I will let you know. So I go to church this morning and I get a phone call. And guess what? It changed. So here I am. And I'm like, man, this is amazing, that I can actually help them. So I went over. She was serving in kids ministry, kids church. And so I went over to the wife and I said, hey, guess what? My plan's canceled and I can help you move this afternoon. And she was like, wow, that's great. I'm really sorry, though, about your plans that were canceled. I said, it's not a big deal. Everything works together for good. And so I'm good. And she said, okay, great. Well, 2:00 it is. So by the time I got home from church and changed clothes and all of those things that I needed to do, I didn't get over there until a little later. So when I rolled up, it was probably about 3:00 by the time I drove to their place. And there's the U-Haul, backed in, and it's empty. And I walk in their place, and it is a disaster. And you know what it's like moving? I mean, they've got boxes everywhere. They got stuff everywhere. They're trying to sort through everything, and they're struggling because they've got a lot to do in a short amount of time. And so I met up with a husband, and he and I broke down beds and put the biggest stuff into the U-Haul. Loaded it up, and as soon as we had everything loaded, somebody else from church called and said hi, and said, hey, I'm on my way over. And I said, hey, meet us at their new place and you can help unload. So he met us over there. We all arrived around the same time and started unloading to an apartment on the second floor. And the helper said, I feel bad. Like, you two loaded this whole thing, and here I am just kind of coming on the end of this, you guys have a system together. And I said, no, I'm really glad you're here. Actually, it's great. He goes, I just feel really bad. It's so late and in the game, but I had some other things going on. I said, no, it's good. It's good. And I mentioned to him, and this is in Matthew 20, I said, it's kind of like the vineyard owner. He pulls in some workers like early in the morning, and he says, hey, I'll pay you a denarius to work for the day, which is like, it's a day's worth of wages, a denarius. And he said, I'll pay you that to work for the day. And they agreed. And then he went back out at like 9:00 in the morning. He gathered some more workers, and they said, yeah, we'll come and work. And I don't know, he went out like 5:00 in the afternoon and is gathering more workers. And, he's needing to get this stuff done. It's harvest season. That's why he's bringing people into the vineyard. And, this was a parable that Jesus told. And at the end of the work, the vineyard owner paid everybody the same wage. And the people that were there from the very earliest in the morning that worked through the heat of the day were like, dude, you owe us like way more money because you're paying them the same and we've been here all day. Like, that ain't fair. And the vineyard owner said, yeah, but isn't that what you agreed? Like, isn't that what you agreed to do? And so I said to the guy who came to help late in the game, I said, you know what? You get equal kudos for coming to help, because the energy that you brought to the end of the day to kind of help get everything rolling is amazing. And it helped us out. And there was some relief for all of us that there was an extra set of hands. And so it's good. So don't feel bad that you showed up late. Like, it's equal gratitude goes all the way around, just like in Matthew 20. And the wife has MS. The husband said, Patty, thank you so much for coming today, because I don't know what I would have done without you. And we wouldn't have gotten any of this done. And I don't even know how to repay you. And I thought to myself, I mean, things are going quickly in my head as he's saying that. And I'm saying, yeah, hey, no problem. You're welcome. And as I began to walk out the door, I walked back in and I said, you know what? Thank you. Because I did this basically out of selfishness. Because I don't have to go to the gym now. So that's great. It's always great when you can get a workout in and not have to go walk on a treadmill or something. But I said, really, it's the message that we had in our church today was entitled The Heart of the House. And it was talking about the heart of the house is the community of believers who get together and love on one another and do these acts of kindness to come alongside and support one another and help bear the burden that we have as life transitions happen. And he said, we are looking forward to closing this season in our life and starting this new season. And this is like a chapter that's closing and this move is good for us. And I said, good, I'm so glad for you guys. I said, but don't forget, I get way more out of it than you guys do. Trust me, because it brings me great joy that I'm able with love and understanding to come alongside and support, because it's happened to me before. I was so overwhelmed. I didn't have one thing packed, and I had one person come over, my dear friend Beth, and she literally, with her organizational skills and her leadership skills, got everything ramped up. I was just lost in the midst of the moment. And so for me to be able to turn around and do that with someone else again and again and again over the years has been just an incredible blessing to me. So much easier to sit on the couch and do nothing because I can get in my me zone. But you know what? It's amazing when we step outside of ourselves and help someone else, our neighbor or a loved one, we get so much more joy and satisfaction and extend love in practical ways. So I hope that you, in the midst of your busyness, can just take a moment to love on somebody. And, the wife came up to me and she said, I have MS and I could never lift and carry the things that you do. And I said, but you know what? There are things that you could do that I could never do and I'm not gifted in. And I don't try to do the things that I'm not gifted in. I just focus on the things that I do really well. And if I can lift some stuff, I can. So I just want to share with you, and I hope that this encourages you, that you can just step out and maybe it's not lifting or helping somebody move, but maybe it's a meal. Somebody blessed me on Friday night with meals to get me through the weekend, and I don't have to cook. And if any of you know me well, I don't cook. So to have something homemade for me for the weekend was such a blessing for me. And it wasn't asked. It was just something that was done, and I was really grateful for it. But that's part of the heart of the house. So I just hope that you can extend God's love, love others in a practical way, and do it on purpose, and see what God will show up and shine, not only in others through you, but will shine upon you as you serve others. So I hope that you're having a great Sunday, and I love you all. I'm headed home now to grab a quick shower and relax for the evening. All right, love you guys. Bye.